Hi everyone, now I've got a pigeon pair set of fridge and freezer by Westinghouse. Now the model number's RP342V, and I've seen in lots of reviews that the biggest single complaint about them is that the door falls off its hinges. People have been complaining about that for years, and Westinghouse never do anything about it. So at some point, if you have these fridges, you will need to repair the door. And my door's doing the same thing, so the fridge door has dropped. It hasn't dropped far enough that it's actually come off its hinges, unlike many people, from what I understand from the reviews. But I can see at the base of the door, and I'll show you in just a sec, that the door has slid down its hinge, and the bottom of the metal around the door is splitting because the weight of the door is pushing down into the bottom door bracket. And so I'll show you all these things in just a sec. I couldn't find, there's a fair few videos on YouTube showing how to fix particular fridges, but I couldn't find any for this particular brand, and supposedly it happens a lot to this brand, so I thought I would film me trying to fix this one. Now I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't taken the door off yet, so I haven't seen what's wrong with it. Maybe it's not fixable, and so I won't be able to fix it. But I'll have a go, and we'll see together whether we can repair this. So here's the base of the door, and that hole there is where the bottom pin of the hinge sits up into there, and it looks like this part here, I think what they call the thimble, has broken away from this plastic part here. So I think this was all one piece, one unit, and this is broken off and pushed up into the door, and so the weight of the door has dropped down, and you can see that the metal itself is cracked. Sort of here you can see a big crack in the metal, and here. So the metal on the front is splitting because of the weight of it. Now, one of my pet hates is poor design, and why you would make the thing that supports the entire weight of the door and everything in it out of cheap, shitty plastic is just beyond me. Why this wasn't made out of metal, and why this area wasn't reinforced to support the door's weight and the weight of everything in it, it's just beyond me. I really hate poor design. It just shits me so badly. So I'm going to turn the camera off while I try to work out how all this works. I think you can probably just pry it out, but I don't know whether I need to reinforce something on it. In fact, while the camera's running, let me just take these off. We'll undo these and see if that helps us at all. Alright, so it looks like this bit is actually a cap that sits over the top of this bit to hold it in place. So that's interesting. And this hasn't broken, so we'll be able to use that again. This plastic, again it's plastic, this base of the fridge door is made out of plastic, and this is cracked and pushed up into it, so I don't know how we can reinforce that so it doesn't continue to degrade. But let's see if we can get this out. Oh, there we go. So that's the thimble that the door hinge sits on, and the top of that is quite worn down. So this wearing of this plastic bit, as well as the cracking and the pushing up of this bottom part of the base of the door, is what's making the fridge drop down and drop off its top hinge, because it just slots up into the top hinge. So if it drops far enough, then it comes out of the top hinge and the whole door just falls off. And there was lots of reports of that happening to people's kids, like the kids would open the door and the whole door would drop off. Particularly for young kids, that's quite a danger. So I want to have a look up in here. I'll turn the camera off because it'll take me a little while to try to work out what's going on. I wonder if there's something I can do to sort of reinforce this bit so that it doesn't keep cracking. So I've worked out what I think I'm going to try on this. I'm going to try to lift up all of these plastic bits. So see how they've all sunken inwards? And all this plastic's chipping in here. So we need some support behind that. So what I'm going to try and do is hold this in the position where I want it, so back where it should be, and put some expanding foam into there. So I'm only going to need to squirt a small bit into there. Unfortunately, this is the small can. And that will expand and solidify, and so it should hold everything into position. But before that, there's this metal folded up bit here. So see this bit here? So I'm going to try to beat that back down. So I'll try to straighten everything up as best I can. Now the other thing is, I went online and I found a replacement for this, what they call the thimble, the lower thimble. This is the old one. So I'll install that, and the foam, the expanding foam, should help hold all that in place as well. Right, now we're ready to spray our foam into this base bit. Now polyurethane foam needs water in order to cure, so it's recommended that you spray your the surface that you're going to inject it into with a little bit of water. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I want to get it on the inside as well. Probably a bit too much water, but anyway. So now what I need to do is try to hold this open while I inject the polyurethane up into these crevices. Does that work? Logan, shush. Alright, it's been 5 hours since I've put the expanding foam on. So this is some foam that dropped onto the newspaper that I had on the floor, and it's really firm. This doesn't push up anymore, so I'm hoping I've got enough in there. I've got a little bit up here, so I might need to drill that out. To help it cure faster, I did have a heater on it, and I guess that put it up to about 35 degrees Celsius, so that helped it cure a little bit faster. Perfect. Cool, that seems to have fixed it perfectly. So before, the door wouldn't shut anymore, and also it would only get to about there, and then you'd have to pick it up slightly and push it in to close it. But now it closes all the way, completely seals by itself now. So it is perfect. All right, that seems to have done the trick. I'm really happy about that. I hope that's helped someone out there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.